name is Mohammed.
My name is Abdul in the region, and
my name is Edwin.
I am Rafik Salami.
Hello and welcome. On this show, we take you on a trip across all of Ghana's 16 regions.
We bring you closer to the hard-to-reach communities and share important stories that didn't make the headlines. My name is Ekow, Yamoah.
And I'm Esther, Nkrumah, and this is from Our Correspondents.
My name is Mohammed.
My name is Abdul in the region, and
my name is Edwin.
I am Rafik Salami.
Welcome back to our first story now. Jama South Member of Parliament, Kadjebi Yamoah, has expressed concern about the growing chieftaincy tensions in Jaman, particularly in Sampa, which is affecting livelihoods and development. Speaking at an International Peace Day celebration, the legislator hinted that Parliament's Defence and Interior Committee will soon meet to explore how Parliament can help deal with the situation. Precious Semovo has more.
As part of the 2025 International Peace Day celebration on the theme, Act Now for a Peaceful World, the Bono Regional Peace Council visited Junim, a farming community in the German South District, to sensitize residents on the importance of cherishing the peace they enjoy. Sampa and some surrounding communities in German are under curfew due to conflict, a situation that particularly affects senior citizens, women and children, with an impact on development. Other areas in the region like Sunyai and Badu are also involved in chieftaincy litigations. The regional chairperson of the Peace Council, Professor Efua Educhumwa-Dechi, notes the financial constraints limiting the peace outreach.
Maybe the government, everybody should be aware that it's better to sensitize and prevent the incident than when the incidents escalate and then you invest in trying to bring peace. It takes a longer period. So with resources, we can do a lot. The Bono region is a place we could be even planning the whole year. Even in a month, twice a district or something, we move around. It could really help and help people to be aware of the importance of peace and justice that goes with it.
The paramount chief of Junim, an eminent council member, Nana Bofubini IV, said all stakeholders must act now for peace and development in German and the region. If we want peace and development for German, then we must stop politicizing every issue. We must unite and know that we need peace and development, because I believe Sampa's issue shouldn't have escalated to the current level. Chiefs, you have to act now on your roles. The Member of Parliament for German South, Kadjebi Yamoah, highlighted Parliament's intention to address the Sampa situation and support peace efforts in the region.
Definitely, we cannot sit by while these things keep happening. Before we came here, I've managed to get in touch with factions, and as I said, the Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament will be meeting on Thursday. It's one of the issues that we are going to discuss first to see how, as a Parliament, we can deal with it. I think when it comes to matters of peace, stability, security, it transcends political interests. Even without these, especially the Sampa one, we had some simmering challenges, and behind the scenes we're trying to find solutions. We will pursue the path of peace, and I can assure you that I will not relent on my effort until now.
Precious Semovo, Joy News, Junim.
Now, the Agbogbo Mafia of Asogli State, Togbe Afede the 14th, has called for constitutional reform to strengthen the fight against corruption. He criticized the current system where major embezzlers often escape punishment while petty thieves face long prison terms. There is more in the following report.
The Asogli State instituted the Anti-Corruption Day as part of its annual Yam Festival to whip up public interest in fighting corruption. At this year's event, the Deputy Director of the Security and Exchange Commission, Mensa Thompson, called for concerted efforts towards ending corruption.
There are corruptions that will rob millions of people of their livelihood and create a series of young unemployed graduates. That's the corruption that we stand against on a daily basis. And so we are doing our part. It is now up to you, the citizen, to also do your part.
The Agbogbo Mafia of the Asogli State, Togbe Apede the 14th, asserted that corruption has robbed the country of development, leading to poverty.
So, as I said, seeing so much immigration, uptick in the crime rate, and also uptick in the suicide rate. These are the consequences of our underdevelopment or of the poverty that has become our lot. I have identified corruption as the #1 culprit. But of course, we know that the lack of adequate infrastructure is also a consequence of corruption. It makes corruption the #1 enemy. We talk about galamsey. It's also a product of corruption. So corruption indeed is our #1 enemy.
He also lamented the unfair criminal justice system being witnessed in the country, calling for equal punishment for criminals and corrupt officers.
Of course, constitutional provisions can help. That is why I like the idea of the Constitutional Review Committee. Hopefully, they can identify aspects of the Constitution that would need amendment and which amendments can help strengthen the fight against corruption, create a strong incentive to be corrupt. But of course, laws don't enforce themselves. We have to enforce those laws. Lack of enforcement has been one factor in encouraging people who want to steal to steal. Of course, we need the appropriate laws as well. We've always said about the goat thief who is sent to jail for many years, and the one who steals millions walking free. Again, we need to form a constitution to remedy those situations.
Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News. Who?
Moving on, the Executive Director of NOSAC, Alhaji Al-Hassan Mohammed Awal, has revealed that the organization is investing over 2 million in northern initiatives targeting mainly youth. These programs have benefited over 500,000 young people and transformed more than 650 households by promoting shared domestic responsibility and challenging long-standing inequalities. There's more in the following report.
The Northern Ghana Sexual and Reproductive Health and Rights Conference for Young People was on the theme Empower, Engage, Excel, Advancing Reproductive Health and Rights of Young People for a Brighter Future. The conference was aimed at empowering young people to lead impactful discussions and innovations concerning sexual and reproductive health and rights in Northern Ghana. Speaking at the 2025 edition, the Executive Director of NOSAC, Alhaji Al-Hassan Mohammed Awal, said they are investing over 2 million in youth-led initiatives in the area.
In just 1 year, we have impacted over 500,000 young people. We are seeing a quiet revolution in over 650 households, where domestic responsibilities are now shared between boys and girls, challenging generations of inequality. We have supported 3,200 adolescents in peer support groups and invested over 2 million in youth-led initiatives.
The Northern Regional Minister, Adolf John Ali, commended NOSAC for their works in the area.
NOSAC has remained steadfast in its commitment to youth development and continues to implement critical initiatives. The decision to hold this year's conference under such conditions is not only commendable, but also a bold reaffirmation of NOSAC's dedication to the well-being of young people in Ghana.
Away from that, Country Director of IDE Ghana, Abdul Damba has urged the government to harness women's enthusiasm in agriculture to create entrepreneurial opportunities. He stressed that instead of handouts, Ghanaians should be equipped with skills for self-sufficiency. There's more in the following report.
The program focuses on empowering mothers through mother-to-mother support groups led by facilitators providing education on nutrition, breastfeeding, and food preparation in local languages. Speaking at the launch of the Year 2 of the project, Country Director of ID, Abdul Damba said the project's Year 1 has made a huge impact on the lives of farmer groups.
So first year has really been on understanding the problem, understanding who is already doing what, and also looking at who are the possible partners we could actually be working with. And I would say like it's really been a year of learning. It's really been a year of opportunities to celebrate success. And I'm always happy to look back and see that we have like a significant number of these women moving into the space of marketing, selling small nutrition products within their communities. I'm also inspired by the opportunity most community members have had to set up backyard gardening, where they are growing a lot of nutrition sensitive value chains within the backyard. And a significant number of them, over 1,000 of them, have also been supported to move into direct agricultural production. We are expecting that these women are able to play a key role within their household, to play a key role within their communities, and to work closely with the broader community and also the children.
The mayor of Tamale, Abubakar Adam Takaro, commended ID for their work.
Sitting here this morning, I've realized that all what you have brought on board has something to do with our local people. And as a city authorities, we have to partner with you people to make sure that our people really benefit what we have said here.
A beneficiary of the project, Amidu Anatu, shares how the project has impacted her life.
The benefits here a lot from Dana because in your person a single mother of 6 children, and with this opportunity, it's a kawahala shell na bema nyela
Kadjebi District Director of Agricultural Services, Shaibu Rashad, has raised concerns over the low number of agricultural extension officers, with just 1 officer to over 4,000 farmers. He warns that the service quality is at risk. He made the remark during the Feed Ghana's fertilizer distribution to selected farmers in the district.
According to the Food and Agricultural Organization, 1 extension agent is scheduled for about 500 farmers. However, the situation in the Kadjebi district of the Oti region is said to be different. According to the Agricultural Services Director for the district, Shaibu Abdul Rashad Dodonyara, the situation is dire, with some of them even retiring in 2025. He is urging government to ensure posting of more extension service agents to the districts. This would ensure adequate attendance to farmers and other services that are needed on their farms.
The government is doing so much to help improve productivity of agric. But unfortunately for what is lacking is the staffing. There is a limited number of staff in the district. According to FAO, the recommended AEA farmer ratio is 1:500, maximum 600. But in Kadjebi district, we are doing 1:4,000, 5,000. That is too much. So that puts too much pressure on the AEAs. And as I'm even talking to you, some are retiring very soon. So it means the situation is even going to worsen. So we will plead that though government is doing so much in terms of providing fertilizer, they should recruit more agric extension agents into the system to help the farmers improve their yield. Because technology transfer is what the farmer will use to improve his yield. But if the AEA is not there to impact the improved technology, it means that we'll be operating at a very low yield.
The district chief executive, Dr. Sam Suraj Isaka, who supervised the distribution, urged farmers to take advantage of the program to increase the yield from their farms, although not all the over 4,000 farmers who registered in the district would benefit from this initial distribution of fertilizers.
This fertilizer input, is part of the support that is coming from the government to the farmers. We've received 1,000 bags of NPK that is donated to the government of Ghana. We are sharing that to the farmers, even though not all of them will get. If you go into our database, you realize we have close to 4,000 people who have registered under Feed Ghana program. And apart from that, we're still doing the registration, so more are yet to register. But the few bags we've received, we've identified some few farmers that we're doing the distribution today, and we are keeping records of that. When more comes, we'll invite them and then distribute to them. But those who have received this one, when we get a new consignment, we'll consider those who are, those who were not catered for under this one.
Some of the farmers say the provision of the fertilizers would help them in their farming endeavors. Peter Sanu for Joy News.
Child labor and trafficking continue to deny thousands of children their safety, education and future. The EU-funded My Right, My Future project, led by Right to Play with PACODEP and ACRAD, is urging the media to help combat child exploitation. There is more in the following report.
The engagement was organized by Right to Play in partnership with PACODEP and Alliance for Community Resilience and Development, ACRAD, with funding support from the European Union. It brought together journalists from across the OT and Volta regions to discuss the critical role of the media in exposing child labor, influencing policy, and ensuring perpetrators are punished. The EU-funded project is being implemented in communities across Krati East, Krati West, and Bando. Organizers stress that beyond rescuing children, sustainable interventions are needed to give them dignity and hope. Isaac Selassie Ahaji is communication specialist at Right to Play.
This media training that was organized is under the My Right, My Future project, which is an EU-funded project. That's the European Union's. It's 1,000 euros, sorry. And the main idea is to address issues of child labor in cocoa growing and fishing communities in the OT and Volta regions. And so today's training, the idea really was to, first of all, build that connection with the media, get journalists to understand the problem, and having understood the problem, see how they can contribute in the fight towards addressing these challenges.
Journalists were urged to use their platforms not just to tell stories, but to steer action against child labor in Ghana. Bangulore Kibuga is project manager for My Rights, My Future.
The prevalence being high here, the consortium have been able to make inroads, and the communities that we are working in have been adequately sensitized, and this was just not done by the consortium and its partners. It was done by the law enforcement agencies. What we realized was that it was out of poverty that most of these parents were using their children, either on the lakes or in the cocoa farming areas. So whilst we educate them, and we are seeing that we are making inroads, so the plan going forward is to empower our CBOs. We have identified some community-based organizations where we are fashioning out a program. So those children that we are able to rescue and send them back to school, those who are above school-going age, we are liaising with the government institution, that is National MBSSI, to take them through some trainings.
Director of PACODEF, George Achibra, described the situation as a national emergency requiring bold and united action.
We have gotten now is we have gone past the talk. We have the policies. Even if we look at the policy, the UN Convention for the Rights of the Child and Children's Act, as we are looking at, Ghana is a leading country, and having taken Ghanaian child to this level, then we need to do more than we make the talk. We also have to propel and also wield the journalists. The media must be resourced. We're having children in cocoa fields. We're having children in the fishing industry, where children dive and go deeper into the waters to disentangle nets. So how do a journalist just walk and come? He needs to be resourced. This is a place where I think we all have to put our hands on deck. And I think it's about time that the policy makers and the way the implementers, it's not about just writing into the books, but how do we make them move? How do we mobile them?
Ivy Satoji, Joy News, Dambai.
Along Ghana's Volta Lake, long affected by child trafficking and forced labor in fishing, the Yeji Justice Initiative is providing parents with sustainable alternatives through dialogue with boat masters and entrepreneur training for families. The program aims to keep children in school and out of dangerous work, and as Sabit reports.
The waters of Ghana's Volta Lake are a source of life and beauty. But for countless children here, this lake is also a place of lost childhoods, a backdrop for a cycle of exploitation and forced labor. But now, from the heart of one of the most affected communities, a wave of change is beginning to form. For the 6th consecutive year, GlobeServe Ministries International, through its Yeji Justice Initiative, is bringing its message directly to the source. This isn't a protest, it is a dialogue, and the goal is to confront the painful issue of child labor in the fishing industry by engaging the very people involved, the boat masters and the vulnerable parents who feel they have no other choice. Reverend Samuel Dunia is the founder and general overseer of GlobeServe Ministries.
We are here in Yeji, and you and I will know that Yeji is a bit along the Volta Lake. There is this fishing communities that has a practice that is not justifiable. Children are held captive. Children are being exploited. Children are not educated. Why? It's because of this fishing industry that is being found in the Yeji and its environs. So GlobeServe, with our partners, we are embarking on a journey to ensure that these children are given the right of life. They are given the best of life. And that is that their children are being able to educate them, go to school, have education, so that they can become what the Lord has asked them to become.
And that better way is practical. While the boat masters were in dialogue, their wives were in empowerment training. This is the critical second step, providing families with sustainable alternatives to survive without sending their children onto the dangerous waters.
And so our way is to bring together 100 boat masters and bring 100 of their wives so that we will have a dialogue and to talk about how we can provide a decent living for our children, how we can treat them without exploiting them at the expense of their education.
The ultimate prize is this: a classroom, not a fishing boat, a notebook, not a net. The initiative is a holistic approach, challenging the conscience of the community while equipping it with the tools to break free from poverty. Reverend Dunia admonished all leaders, traditional, church, and everyone to speak out in order to ignite a lasting justice movement.
The political leaders is very simple. We have laws. Let's enforce the law. My advice to traditional authorities, the chiefs and great mothers, they should make their stools be remembered that it is a stool that fight against injustice.
Some of these beneficiaries who received entrepreneurial trainings to help empower them thanked the ministry for the lifeline and the wake-up call and promised to stay away from engaging their wars in the fishing trade.
Nti we be boa yen ye de be ko dwa so aton se na be ya ye ma na be ko school omu ko nsuo so biem me da mo ase se ma nya me nsa na adwuma me nkwala no mo nsa nko nsuo so biem me de be hwe me nkwala no school na da chi se me so me ka fa akura nkwala no ma nya mboa ya omu de be boa me.
The fight against child trafficking is a complex battle fought against currents of poverty and tradition. But here in Yeji, They are building a new model, one that combines conviction with compassion and justice with jobs. It is a proof that the most effective net for catching a better future isn't cast into the water, but woven by the hands of an empowered community. Anna Sabit, Joy News, Yeji.
My name is Abdul in the Esther region, and the name is Edwin Official. I am Rafik Salami Wa. My name is Abdul in the Esther region, and the name is Edwin Official. I am Rafik Salami Wa.
Welcome back from the break. Let's do more stories now. The shortage of critical medical equipment in smaller health facilities has long hindered quality health care, delaying treatment and burdening referral centers. Communities in Pristiahuni Valley and Takwa in Siarim now have hope as some facilities have received modern equipment to enhance health care delivery. We have more in this report.
At many health facilities, items such as ICU beds, incubators, anesthesia machines, imaging devices, and essential consumables like gloves, syringes, and sterilized dressing are often in short supply. This leads to delayed patient care and, in many cases, referrals to larger hospitals that are already overstretched. In response, the Goldfields Ghana Foundation has donated critical healthcare equipment to facilities in Takwa Nsiayim and Pristiahuni Valley. The Pristiahuni Valley Municipality Health Director Thomas Kobna Ofori highlighted that given the area's mining activities and associated occupational health risk, the absence of such equipment had long posed a challenge.
Mining with other occupations. When we talk of injuries and then the disease burden, they are classified under high burden impact if it's a disease or injury. So we need to get sophisticated equipment that will be able to curtail whatever injury or burden on health that will affect the community. So coming into the health facility with this equipment, I think it's going to help us to hold and then be able to prevent and also handle any emergency that will come.
Executive Director of Goldfields Ghana Foundation, Abdul Yakubu, explained that the goal is to make the municipality a hub for medical care. He, however, emphasized the need for proper maintenance to sustain the impact of the donation.
We want to leave behind very good health facilities. We want to leave behind a motivated health professional force. We want to leave behind education on preventive health care, so that in our absence, if anybody mentions Takwa Nsiayim or Pristiahuni Valley, generations that are yet to come would say that is the area where you go to for quality health care. So it's a legacy we want to leave behind.
Health authorities say the intervention will go a long way in improving patient care and easing pressure on referral centers, provided the new equipment is maintained for long-term use. For Joy News in Athalia Kwanza, Western Region.
Moving on, young girls in Ghana are breaking barriers in STEM as the subject becomes integral to national curriculum. At Cohort 2 Bootcamp of Shiro's in STEM initiative, Molek Foundation Africa's Executive President, Ivy Beauty Mate, announced plans to establish STEM clubs in schools. These clubs would train teachers to mentor girls, supporting SDGs on quality education, gender equality and innovation. Abigail Nkrumah reports.
I started loving science the day my daddy showed us how plants drink water. It felt like magic. I started asking questions about how things work, like why it rains and how houses stay strong. That is why I want to be a medical doctor and save people's lives from dangerous sickness.
For years, STEM had been regarded as a masculine field, discouraging girls from exploring the diverse potentials and opportunities in the STEM fields. Today, Molex Foundation Africa, through its Sheroes in STEM initiative, is making significant efforts in empowering young African girls to beat barriers and accomplish excellence in STEM fields. The second cohort of the Sheroes in STEM initiative bootcamp came off at the University of Cape Coast and saw about 60 girls across Ghana participating. Ivy Beauty Amate is the executive president for Molex Foundation Africa.
We are looking at continuing to establish the STEM clubs in schools and to train the teachers, specifically the maths and science teachers, to also continue to train these girls as they finish the campaign. And all these things align with the Sustainable Development Goal for quality education, 5 gender equality, and then 9 innovation, infrastructure, and industry. And we are aiming at bringing up girls who have vision, girls who will take up responsibilities, girls who will bridge the gender gap, and girls who are ready to overcome social and cultural barriers.
The founder of the foundation, Dr. Patrick Essien, expressed pride at the impact of the initiative in the lives of young African girls.
The fulfillment also came this year when girls from all over the country came together, okay, for the boot camp, and they are so poised to learn, they are so poised to to break the barriers, okay, the gender barriers in STEM, okay, to become the lead in the STEM. In Molex Foundation, we don't believe in every successful man there's a woman, but we have 10 things around that in every success or every great achievement there's a woman leading, and that is what we are gearing towards, and that is what we are seriously working on. So if you look at the project, the 5 projects the girls are doing this year is exceptional. The smart house, the smart traffic light, the air quality sensor, and then the other project that they are doing is exceptional, and that is my happiness. That is a dream come true. That shows that no, what we planned is being real.
With STEM fields making transformative strides in the world, the CEO of Berlin Group of Companies, Guido Coleman, is asking government to prioritize STEM programs in order to align with the new world order.
I will urge the government to focus on STEM programs, and it has because we are in a new world order. So we should all move in the same direction as other developed countries are doing. We can do it. Now we've started with young girls. Maybe the next years we'll also move on to the heroes in STEM, and we'll be going. So seriously, we need support. We need more support.
The theme for the Sheroes in STEM Cohort 2 Bootcamp was breaking barriers to access higher education. From Cape Coast, Abigail Lisel Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Now, Head of Supervision at the Credit Union Association, Stella Tassa Mawunyo, has urged women to embrace a culture of savings, emphasizing the financial need and discipline secures their future and strengthens families. Speaking at a Women and Youth Dialogue organized by UCC Cooperative Credit Union Limited, she advised against over-reliance on husbands, highlighting savings as a practical path to long-term sustainability. We have more for you in this report.
The Women and Youth Dialogue, organized by the Women's Wing of the University of Cape Coast Cooperative Credit Union Limited, was on a theme, empowering women and youth, strengthening cooperatives and driving inclusive growth. The dialogue, which is the first of its kind, constituted discussions across leadership, entrepreneurship, and financial literacy. Following the event, the chairperson of the UCC Cooperative Credit Union, Charity Abraham, highlighted the significance of having the dialogue.
So basically, you want to create the leadership pathways for women and youth to be able to thrive and then have the needed confidence to take up challenges to become better leaders in future. Again, we are looking at the entrepreneurial aspect. Most of our youth complete school, and then the next thing they are looking for is government work, white-collar jobs, and all of that. So Credit Union is taking it up to build their skills, to have the entrepreneurial mindset so that they wouldn't depend wholly or solely on government work. They'll be able to do their own things to get money and then being able to save with us. So this is what motivated it. This is the first of its kind in Ghana, and our hope is that you'll be able to thrive in the activities we have planned for ourselves, so that in future, KUA, the mother association, can even pick it up and then replicate in other credit unions.
The head of supervision at the Credit Union Association Limited, Stella Tasa Maunyo, encouraged women to practice the habits of saving.
We believe women have skill sets such as empathy, which will help when they come on board to lead. So basically, this is what we are doing. For loans, it's accessible for all members. Once you are a member and you save continuously, you have access for loans. But our advice to women is for them to save regularly for the future. They should not rely 100% on their husbands. They should save for the future. Today, their kids might be young, but in future they are going to grow, and so they need to save more so that when their kids are the universities, they can support their husbands to see the kids through the university. So this is a plea to the women: enough of the clothes, enough of the shoes, enough of the makeups. We have to save for the future. At the APES body, we have organized women leadership programs. So this is a model. It's a course on its own that we run at the training center called KUTRAC. And so we are being intentional to empower women. And so during this model, we train our women on mentorship, networking, leadership skills. We want to make sure that we groom the women now, we build their capacity now, so when the opportunity comes for them to serve on the leadership role or management role, they will have what it takes to impact on the growth of the credit union.
Nase Our Correspondents Ochuwa III is the Queen Mother of Ekumfi Ekoti and Onaibusi of Winneba, Assistant Registrar at UCC and an entrepreneur. She shared some advice with women entrepreneurs, reiterating the importance of saving.
I encourage women, my fellow women, that once we get a small capital and start doing something, we have to learn to save. Very important. Keep records of what we invested in, what is coming out, save some, possibly invest some, and then at the end of the day, let's take advantage of the facilities credit unions offer and use those facilities to expand our businesses, not to use the facilities to buy funeral cloth and wedding fabrics and all of that, but to reinvest in our businesses, to expand the businesses so that we would also be comfortable in our lives.
From Cape Coast, Abigail Lisel Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Moving on, at the 17th congregation of Amajofe Training College, Dr. Harry Agbenu has urged new teachers to use AI to enhance, not replace teaching. The event themed 79 years of quality teacher education, the impact of AI in enhancing delivery, also highlighted infrastructural needs. A total of 353 trainees graduated, and a new staff apartment was commissioned. Ivy Saturday reports.
For 79 years, Amajofe College of Education has trained teachers for Ghana's classroom, but at its 17th congregation, the message was clear: the next chapter of education belongs to those who embrace artificial intelligence. Chairman UPSA Governing Council Dr. Harry L.K. Agbanu says teachers who embrace AI will replace those who don't.
Today marks the end of one journey and the beginning of yet another. We are here to embrace the future, a future where artificial intelligence is transforming the way we live, the way we work, and more importantly, the way we teach and learn. As one educational futurist has rightly observed, teachers who embrace AI will replace those who don't. In fact, AI is enhancing how teachers deliver lessons, assess students, and engage learners. AI is making teaching easier, more efficient, practical, and fun.
According to him, the teacher's role is no longer just about giving information, but guiding, mentoring, and coaching in a digital world.
However, It is important to emphasize that AI does not replace the teacher. It amplifies the teacher's ability. As Bill Gates rightly puts it, technology is just a tool. In terms of getting kids working together and motivating them, the teacher is the most important. The role of the teacher is evolving. We are no longer mere transmitters of information, but facilitators, coaches, mentors, and human guides in an increasingly digital world. If we want to remain relevant and impactful, we must embrace the opportunities that digital technologies such as AI present.
The call was reinforced by the acting Deputy Director General of GTEC, Professor Augustine Ekow, who challenged the new teachers to use AI with responsibility.
You are beginning your careers at a defining moment, the dawn of AI age in education. This is both your great challenge and your extraordinary opportunity. You must be critical thinkers, the ethical guides, and the passionate leaders. Use AI to lighten your load, but never let it dim your light. Use it to analyze data, but never to quantify a child's potential. You are the authors of the next chapters. Let us step boldly into the future with AI as our partner, not our master. Together, we can build an education system where AI enhances but never replaces the irreplaceable human touch of a good teacher.
While celebrating nearly 8 decades of excellence, the principal, Dr. Dixon Chair, appealed for urgent support to tackle infrastructure gaps.
At present, all college-wide official events, including matriculation and graduation such as this, are held outdoors. An auditorium is not a luxury. It is a core academic asset. Its absence is a significant gap. The college continues to face poor internal road networks, inadequate hostel accommodation for male students, and inadequate lecture halls and staff office, lack of well-equipped science laboratories, and home economic labs. We call on all stakeholders to assist us in addressing these pressing needs.
The ceremony also saw the commissioning of a 6-unit apartment block for lecturers who travel long distances daily. 353 graduates stepping into the teaching profession. Amejope once again proved its place as one of Ghana's most respected teacher training institutions. Ivy Satoji, Joy News. Amejope.
Now, 2 under-resourced basic schools in Esutify North Ahafo region received over 200 dual decks from Action Aid Ghana to improve attendance and learning. At the ceremony at Koforidua and Asaman DA Basic Schools, Country Director John Nkrumah reaffirmed the organization's commitment to equitable education for children in deprived communities.
Sustainable Development Goal 4 seeks inclusive and equitable education. However, access to adequate classroom furniture has remained a barrier, depriving students of a conducive teaching and learning environment, especially in rural Ghanaian communities such as Koforidua and Asaman DA Basic Schools in the Esutify North District of the Ahafo region. The headmaster of the Koforidua DA Basic School, Peterson Frimpong, observed how the situation impacted education in both schools, which have a combined population of over 500 students.
We were not having enough desks for our children. So the children were packed in the classroom. Mostly when we go to the classroom, we see the children fighting over a desk. So some of them, they will come to school, no desk to sit on. So they were hesitating to come because when they come, they will not have desk to sit on.
To address the challenge and ensure that every child learns with dignity, Action Aid and partners presented 200 dual desks and 12 teachers' tables with 14 chairs at 71,000 Ghana cedis to Koforidua and Asaman DA basic schools during separate ceremonies. John Nkrumah, the country director, said they will continue to offer equitable educational opportunities to children.
In 2024, we renovated all kindergarten blocks in the Asaman to add to a play area and wash facilities. In this regard, we are honored to lend a hand to 2 basic schools in the Asutifi North again to improve teaching and learning conditions in the Koforidua basic schools. Together, we can create a just, feminist, and resilient Ghana, offering equitable educational opportunities for all citizens.
Mr. Frimpong appreciated the support of Action Aid and further appealed for additional help for the school.
As of now that we are receiving some of the desks, I think it's going to ease our problem, and then we continue better with our education. Looking at the KG block over here, there's no ventilation here. And then since they constructed this classroom for about more than 20 years, we have not seen any renovation. So if any donor support can come and assist us to renovate our classroom, especially the KG classroom, it will be better. And also when we go to some schools, they have a place where they wash their hands, the hand washing equipment. But here when we come here, we don't have.
Beneficiary schools were charged to ensure proper maintenance of the furniture to support the educational sector plan. Precious Semevo, Joy News, Asaman.
Taking now to the Buni East region, and Techiman, a major commercial and agricultural hub, is battling mountain waste with clogged gutters, plastic choked streets, and overflowing landfills, threatening public health. Rising to the challenge, a group of volunteers have launched a campaign to clean the city, and as Sabbath reports.
This is the face of a modern problem. Techiman generates tons of waste daily, a byproduct of its vibrant commerce. And for too long, the fight against plastics, organic refuse, and indiscriminate dumping has been a losing battle. The situation at times has been dire. But listen closely. That's the sound of a new front in this war. Meet the City Boys, a volunteer army whose weapon of choice is the broom and whose enemy is every bit of filth in the Techiman metropolis. From street to street, gutter to gutter, market to market, this is their battlefield. They are not paid. They are driven by a simple, powerful belief that Techiman can and must be one of the cleanest cities in the country.
Our main purpose or our vision is to provide clean and good environment for the people of Ghana. And our vision is to make Techiman Buni East the cleanest city in Ghana. So we do it weekly, every Saturday and Sunday. And it's a volunteer group, so we do it voluntary. And anyone can join.
Founded by Abdul, popularly known as Ice Papa, this volunteer group dedicates their weekends to tackling the city's most critical points. They believe that Techiman's economic potential, driven by agriculture and commerce, is directly linked to its environmental health.
Techiman is the food basket of Ghana, and it is found in the center of Ghana. Economically, Techiman produces a lot of food to help build Ghana. So our goal is to make sure that Techiman is clean, so that we can promote and make Techiman also one of the biggest cities in Ghana.
And that's the crux of their challenge. Their will is immense, but their resources are thin. Ice Papa's appeal is not just for hands, but help.
We need a lot of support, both financially and equipment. We need to be more equipped so that we can get the necessary tools to make sure that Techiman is clean. So anyone watching or listening to us, whether you are a citizen of Techiman or not, we need your support to make sure that Techiman will be clean and Ghana will be clean and healthy.
Their sacrificial work has not gone unnoticed by the authorities. The Metropolitan Chief Executive Ajay Mensah shares how he first heard of the name City Boys.
The first time I heard about the City Boys
It was my son who is Accra schooling. He sent a video to me, and through him, I got their contact. Since that time, I've been their friends. Even I am part of them. I am always with them. In fact, we say God Almighty should bless them.
The local government has taken note and is throwing its weight behind the movement. Mayor A.J. Mensah urges other groups to emulate the activities of this citizen-led initiative.
In fact, if we have 2 or 3 of youth group like this, I think we will go places. We urge other youth groups in the town to also emulate their example.
From a simple idea to a citywide movement, the City Boys are proving that change starts with action. They are not just cleaning up trash, they are building a cleaner, greener future for Techiman, one street at a time. And for those whose wish is to support this mission, whether through donations or volunteering, you can contact them through their social media pages. Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Techiman.
Ghanaians are being urged to learn basic sign language to promote inclusivity and celebrate deaf culture. At the International Day of Sign Languages at the Cape Coast School for the Deaf and Blind, Kaizen's Aid Programs Director Anthony Asante emphasized that even basic sign language skills can break communication barriers and help deaf persons feel fully included. Abigail Esther Nkrumah reports from Cape Coast.
Parents can also learn the sign language so that they will be able to communicate with their deaf children at home.
September 23, 2025 marked the International Day of Sign Languages, and the day was commemorated at the Cape Coast School for the Deaf and Blind with reading and spelling activities organized by Kaizen Aid in collaboration with the West African Civil Society Institute and Walde Ganzen as part of its Inspire to Read project. The program's director at Kaizen Aid, Anthony Asante, highlighted the significance of the day and reasons for marking the day at the school.
So the International Day of Sign Languages is an opportunity to celebrate and support the linguistic identity of the deaf community, which is sign language. So we are here today to commemorate this day, to educate and empower the deaf learners at the school to develop a habit for reading and also try their best to learn all sign languages they come across to improve their knowledge and their vocabulary. We engage the learners in basic spelling as well as crosswords puzzle to enable them to learn new words to improve their vocabulary knowledge.
He also shared hopes of everyone learning basic sign language to facilitate proper communication with deaf and hard of hearing persons.
Looking at the Western world, they don't even have sign language as an official language, but they promote and see to it that it's a language that is embraced by all. So over here, I would advocate that at least we learn some basic signs, so whenever we come into contact with a deaf or a hard of hearing person, we could just say hello or communicate with them nicely for them to also feel welcome and accepted wherever they go.
A history and social studies teacher at the Cape Coast School for the Deaf and Blind, Martin Kwesi Ampofo, noted the importance of the day.
It's very, very, very important or paramount for parents to learn sign language, just in case they give birth to a deaf child, so that you can have a foundation to learn sign language. Sign language is very, very important. We are planning all to partake and learn sign language for Ghana to recognize sign language as an official language like South Africa has done this.
International Day of Sign Languages emphasizes inclusion and advocates support for the linguistic identity and cultural diversity of deaf people. From Cape Coast, Abigail Nkrumah reports for Joy News.
Still in the educational sector, the Vice Chancellor of the Sunyani Technical University, Professor Kadjebi Agriculture, has raised concerns over the lack of sporting infrastructure in the school and the Bono region, which hampers talent development and affects enrollment. There's more in the following reports.
A 9-member local organizing committee for the 2027 Ghana Technical University Sports Association Gatusa Games has been inaugurated at the host school, Sunyain Technical University. The event will bring together sportsmen and women from the 10 technical universities in Ghana to compete for awards in various sporting disciplines, including football and athletics. However, Sunyain Technical University has no sporting infrastructure fit for purpose, and the committee's vice chairperson, Evelyn Insiasare, acknowledges the task with an appeal to stakeholders for support.
Our main job is to be able to organize the event and organize it well. But because in our school here, we do not have any facility, that is the reason why the LOC is being inaugurated earlier, so that we'll be able to go out, look for sponsorship, and put together facilities before the games. You see, there are some people who are from here who are doing so well, so we are going to rely on them. And we also write a formal letter to the Minister for Sports and Recreation to be able to help us. I mean, we are far behind time.
Describing the upcoming games as a landmark event, the Vice Chancellor of STU, Professor Kadjebi Nkrumah, said the lack of sports facilities affects their enrollment.
It has become difficult for the institution to attract the required talented athletes to enroll on our programs, even when scholarships are available. And this is as a result of the inadequate sporting facilities in the university and in the Bono region at large. It calls for all stakeholders, government, private sector partners to join hands in improving the sporting facilities in the region.
Bono Regional Minister Joseph Adaya Kwabwa charged the LOC to deliver a successful sporting event with an assurance of the government's commitment to develop sports infrastructure.
Let me also use this opportunity to reaffirm government's firm commitment to the development of sports in Ghana. As a nation, we recognize that investing in sports is investing in our youth, our future leaders, and our national pride. As a regional minister, I assure you of the full support of my office and the Bono Regional Coordinating Council. Together, we will provide the enabling environment for you to discharge your duties effectively.
From Sunyain, Precious Semevo for Joy Sports.
That'll be all for now. I am Esther AC Nkrumah.
I am Nicholas Ekow. Yamoah, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to catch us on Joy News every Saturday at 5 p.m. with a repeat on Sundays at 12 noon. Have a nice day. My name is Abdul.
In the region, and the name is Edwin Official.
I am Rafik Salami.